8 months after Hurricane Helene tore through southeast Georgia, pecan growers are still recovering from one of the most destructive storms in state history. As John Holcomb of the Georgia Farm Monitor explains, 75% of the pecan crop was wiped out in affected counties.
So you had virtually 75% entire crop loss in the area of the counties that the hurricane hit. But the biggest, hardest thing was the tree loss. So almost 400,000 trees down from the hurricane. And then the third thing you get is the future income loss. But the total will easily be over Hurricane Michael. And when Hurricane Michael happened, you didn't think that you would see anything worse than that. It's one thing to lose the crop and you say, well, you know, we got a chance next year. But when you lose the tree, you lose the crop with the tree, but then you lose in our production, pecan production, you lose the next 7 or 8 years. And y'all, honestly, it's 7, 8 years before you get a crop after you plant a tree. But it's really more like 15 plus before you actually make your money back due to the at-plant cost.
Months later, cleanup is still underway across the region, and depending on the level of damage, progress is moving at very different speeds.
In terms of cleanup, I would say for the growers, it's going, it's as expected. It's, for some, it's very slow because they lost so much in these hard-hit areas. There's still trees on the ground. They haven't even been able to clean them up. But where they sustain a certain, say, 30% tree loss, maybe 40%, some of those have been able to at least get those trees out, and then the trees that are still remaining are able to have a chance at a crop this year, and then if they replant, it'll be next year.
Despite all the challenges, however, there is some optimism, as Sawyer says that in many areas, even those hit the hardest, trees that did survive are showing signs of recovery and have a decent crop on them this year.
Generally, after a big storm like that, you do not have a crop. What's very, and this is, we're happy about this, is some optimism, but across East Georgia, Southeast Georgia, where my position is, there actually is a very decent crop on the remaining trees. And some of it, interestingly, is in the hardest hit areas. But in some of those regions, the trees that are left actually have a crop. And in other regions, it's spotty, but across the varieties, I've looked at a lot, and that's some optimism that I will say. And it was not expected.
Reporting in Keysville for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.